Welcome to How to Draw Celtic Patterns. I'm your host, Jason Belchamber, and today in this segment I'm going to show you how to fill in the negative space in our Pictish Tree of Life pattern. Let's start here in the center. Actually, we're going to start with our eraser. Make sure it's dry, and then lightly take away any pencil marks that you can see in the positive space. It's funny, but the eraser actually takes a little bit of the ink away. There we go. Something's not inked. Great. Take your pigment liner and start leaving that dot in the center. We're just doing a straight line cross hatch. Just to recognize that this is the negative space and the white is the positive space. Alright, we'll do it on this side as well. We can spiral in, that might be a little easier for everybody, so we're just doing a straight line. Now, in the last segment, I'm of the opinion that this actually is a symbol for the summer solstice and the winter solstice. Both important times of the year, or dates of the year, to the Bronze Age folks, the Stone Age folks, and to the Celts as well. And how it's represented by that is that I think this portion is mistletoe, which tends to grow on an oak tree. At the winter solstice, which is the first day of winter, when the sun is at the shortest day of the year and the longest night, symbolically the sun starts to the day gets longer every year, or every day. And at that point, the oak is without its leaves, or the leaves appear to be dead, and the mistletoe is thriving. And mistletoe is usually little white berries. Now, at that point, in old traditional culture, even the Saxons, mistletoe is taken in and hung around because it represents the Holly King. It also represents the return of the sun, the summer, or the winter solstice. At summer solstice, when the oak is blooming, it represents the Oak King. So there's some traditional beliefs that at the winter solstice, the Holly King and the Oak King do battle, and at each solstice, one of them kills the other. So at the summer solstice, the Oak King is strong, and he defeats the Holly King. But at the winter solstice, the mistletoe is thriving. So the Holly King defeats the Oak King. And it's a never-ending battle. So it represents the symmetry of the year. It can represent a balance. Great. There's a lot of symbolism with just like a simple little pattern like this, and it looks so easy to draw, but it's actually quite complex. All right. I'm going to take a thicker marker, like so, and I'm just going to start cutting in where the negative space is. So I'm taking the thinner one of my chiseled ink pen, and I'm just cutting around. Once this is done, it's going to look really good. And I'm sure when yours is done, it's going to look really good as well. It may take you a few times to try it. But again, I think to the Celts and the folks that lived in the Ireland and the British Isles, the tree was a very special symbol. Different trees have different attributes that people use to tell stories and to symbolize different things. But the two parts of the year, summer and the winter, where you can note the changing of the year, or the changing of the day, based on the shadows of even a tree. That the holly, like the mistletoe and the oak, which grow together, they represent the two halves of the year. And you'll even see some patterns in the Book of Kells that are very idealistic, such as this, plant patterns. I'll try to get it in one of the segments. I think the next sort of idealized tree of life that I want to do comes from a Saxon article, a Saxon tree of life. Okay, now you want to be very careful cutting in here, and when you're using this thicker marker, you can start to make it even. Just remember, you can't take away, once it goes into the positive space, you can't take it away. And it's funny because the positive space looks, it has to be balanced. So if you make it too thin, it's going to look too, it's not going to look balanced enough. And if you make it too thick, it's not going to look balanced enough. There's different places, like Stonehenge has a rock and a lot of stone circles. Even in the northeast part of Scotland, in Aberdeen, have a stone at one corner or directly south, and one of them will be pointing towards the winter solstice sun, where it comes up on the horizon, and that will make a specific shadow in a stone circle. Then you'll know what day of the year it is. And if you know what day of the year it is, you'll know how to yield better crops and help your people survive. And a lot of these stone circles, the recumbent stone circles, or what they're called, are found in the northeast part of Scotland. Close to where this stone was found. up in Inverness, near Inverness, in Rose Marquee.